with the least cost possible. This is, at the end of the day, your motto and your objective. And I think it has to really be implanted in the minds of all politicians at the end of the day, is that the success will be measured in terms of how easy to establish business. And it's not only ease of entry, it's ease of exit as well, because one has to really think of that possibility as well. So I think that Lebanon has went through quite a large number of problems. I'm telling this to you because one has not to really look at things in the light of mere cold numbers, which is important, and I confess that at the end one has to really take this in consideration. But at the same time, to see how much this country has really passed through in certain difficulties, and at the same time managed to show high degree of resiliency and to overcome these problems. So I'd say that Lebanon at the present time has managed to overcome many of these problems, and has shown particularly during the past, let's say, decade, how it really has managed to overcome and really proven. See, if and when, let's say, the regional problems, they give Lebanon just a chance, an opportunity. You see how much the Lebanese they can really manage, and how much Lebanon is really able to capitalize on the various points of strength and its comparative advantage to really become a source of highly qualified and efficient type of service, whether it is medical service, engineering service, educational services, touristic services. It's not only that, and being able to develop, I mean, our industries now and our businesses are able to develop quite a large number of patents that you could see in so many countries. And this, I would say, the number of patents that were developed by Lebanese businessmen probably is the largest among all the other Arab countries, which tells you about the ingenuity of the country and the importance of the human capital that we develop. And I think with the development of the, let's say, information technology, and with the ability to communicate and transfer knowledge and to benefit from this, I think Lebanon stands a very good chance, and better than the others.
Elias, sorry, I just want to go back to you on your views on that, and just to broaden it out a bit. Structural reform, economic reform is a great challenge across the region. And as you're addressing Lebanon, here in the UAE, we're dealing with the lack of a bankruptcy law, and they're trying to work that out in the aftermath of the recent crisis. Why do you think it's such a struggle for this region to make the reforms it needs to, and what are the consequences of that? We saw Eastern Europe after the fall of the Berlin Wall made structural reforms across the board, adapted to the new wave of opportunity. What needs to happen here, and what's the consequence if it doesn't?
You know, obviously you're asking a question at the level of the region, and I would try to respond. I think, at least as far as the Levant is concerned, we have a history behind us, a history of the Ottoman Empire, a history of bureaucracy, red tape, and corruption. So that is still part of the mentality. To talk about this specific topic of doing business in a country like Lebanon, when foreign capital is flowing in, what you call FDI, everybody thinks they are entitled to share of that. So they're thinking, hey, you have a client with $100 million, how much are we getting out of this? Instead of having it's a short-term mentality, as opposed to having the long-term mentality of thinking, you know what, that might be good news. this guy is here on the long run. He's here with $100 million. He's going to invest them in this sector. He's going to create jobs. We need, I think, and we can generalize that to the region, we need to think more on the long run. And we need to think that we are all here on the long run. Now there's another, and that's specific to Lebanon, and His Excellency pointed that out. There's another structural problem that we have in Lebanon, and everybody knows that, is, you know, the different religions, communities, confessions, sects, whatever you want to call them. And that makes it even more complicated because it has an impact on business.
I suppose that's not as unique to Lebanon as one might think.
No, it can be generalized.
We have that issue across the region to a certain extent, where the tribal trumps the national interest, whatever that tribal composure may be. Where their vested interest against the structural reform that's required. But what's the consequence, that part of my question, do you think, if these reforms don't happen at this particular time when the center of gravity